Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. And we're here today with special guest, Lisa Stamper. And she's here to share with us her best-selling book, The Success Codes. The real, true way to the success, the love, the money, and everything else you want. So are you ready to make some massive internal and external shifts in your life? Well, today's guest is going to share with us how to do just that. Lisa Stamper is a world-renowned spiritual channel. She inspires audiences with her captivating and transformative insights, channeling wisdom from beyond. She has spoken at events at Harvard, UCLA, Stanford, Oxford, and Cambridge universities and private engagements globally. She's shared the bill with many luminaries, including Jack Canfield and Deepak Chopra, and her wisdom has been featured in major media and countless summits, interviews, and podcasts. Her award-winning book, The Success Codes, ranked number 5 on Book Authority's 20 Best New Success Books to Read in 2024, and was showcased on the Times Square screens. Praised by number 1 New York Times bestselling author Marcy Shimoff, the book offers keys to unlocking real success and dismantling limiting beliefs. Deeply attuned to the spiritual realm since childhood, Lisa not only channels past over loved ones, she combines spiritual guidance and practical strategies to help her clients achieve unparalleled success, abundance, and fulfilling their life's purpose. Whether transforming lives or guiding businesses, Lisa is a light many have been waiting for. So let's welcome to the show, Lisa Stamper.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
My goodness, what an honor it is to have you here, and not only to talk about this award-winning, best-selling book, but also about the work that you do with channeling, and you're highly gifted as an intuitive. Why don't you share with us what inspired you to write the Success Codes?
Thank you so much. So, truly, I live my life led by my soul. Spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it or resonate with, literally saved my life. And I've been so dedicated ever since to go forward and do Spirit's will for the highest good of all. So it was actually the entire book was channeled. Everything that I do is channeled in regards to like courses that are created, speeches that I give, the talks that I gave all over the world at the different institutions. So yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm a conscious creator, let's say.
Oh, I love that. I think that that's so fabulous. And so when we talk about the success codes, what are they and how do they serve as a foundation for personal and professional growth?
Yeah, absolutely. So I won't reveal all of the success codes. So then people, if they want to know more, they can absolutely go and grab the book up. But the foundation of it is essentially being authentically you and standing in your truth and standing in your values and your moral compass and using your unique God-given talents and gifts truly to live a life that is deeply fulfilled, deeply on purpose. And that just helps to make the world a better place because I keep on being shown over and over. We are such unique individuals that come in with specific skill sets that can help the world, essentially. So the success codes is exactly how to do it, how to embody it, how to go through and bring it forth into the world with the most ease, joy, and love.
Well, I found the book to be so impactful. In fact, my goodness, you have sections where people can, in many ways, journal some of their experiences, and you really give them ideas about insights. And all of that was channeled as well.
Absolutely. Every single part of it is channeled. Yeah. The great thing about it is that the reason why I had the nudge, right, our whispers of our soul to follow through with making it into a book is because that's exactly what I guide many of my one-on-one clients with or my group coaching. I've guided thousands of people through this exact process. Then they are walking testimonials that this is how to live like this scrumptious existence that's in alignment. And that actually feels good, right? So many people are lost. So many people are looking for relief. So many people are just surviving when we are actually meant to thrive. And if we use our talents and our gifts, and if we move forward with the whispers of our soul, with our soul nudges, with our intuitions, that really is the path that can help to guide us to be able to fulfill our purpose while we're here.
How impactful is that? And it's interesting. We live in a world where everyone's trying to be somebody else. So, do you find like when you're working with your clients, getting them back to their authentic self can be kind of a relief for them?
Absolutely. And it's really interesting. I literally have had somebody say this the other day. She said, "But this feels too easy." She literally said those words. And I said, "Yes, because we've been literally detoured to think, oh, if this happened, if this worked for this person, it's got to work for me." And it kind of just makes people go down this rabbit hole that really takes them off of their path. So it's just it gets to be easier, it gets to be a relief, it gets to bring more joy into your life.
Have you worked with people that struggle with self-worth and doubts in their abilities to make this really happen for them and move forward?
Absolutely. And you know what? I was talking to one of my clients about this the other day because whenever we are ready to go to our next level, our self esteem or like those little, nuances that play in the background that we might not be consciously aware of can bubble up to the surface. And that is what actually prevents so many people from moving forward, which is why it's so important to have the conscious awareness and to work with somebody or a team or um, read a book in order to help really guide that process. That was one of the fundamental things that came through in the book, actually, was that when we are aware that fear will rise, and if we can look at it with a different perspective, with a different lens to see it for what it is, our ego just trying to keep us safe actually keeps us stuck. But that is why so many people don't move forward and don't move into their purpose, or they're trying to people please. And yes, self esteem and a lot of self worth issues come up for people, but that is, that's the juicy healing part of it.
In your book, you talk about unlearning, and I'd love for you to share with us what that is.
Ooh, I love that. So essentially, it comes from my own story. And Spirit keeps on showing me through working with people that we grow up with stories, whether they are taught to us by our ancestors, whether it's lineage or generational, or whether it's something that we learn in school or church or whatever. But it's often those stories that are not even true that keep people stuck. So for myself, I literally went from welfare to wealthy and destructive to healthy. That's actually one of the chapter names in my book. So from a societal standpoint, it almost puts in these like bunch of strikes against us, which really limit us to be able to move forward, or we start having these limiting beliefs or taking them on when they don't really even come from us. It can even be from a collective energy that has been passed down as well.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot to unpack there. So, when you talk about collective energy that's passed down, are you talking about I mean, because we have very well meaning parents and grandparents, what have you, but they always have a story that they bring with them. Is that what you're pointing to?
Absolutely. And truly, a lot of what I see, and specifically what I work with, is really helping to dismantle the patriarchy, the patriarchal beliefs, the oppression, really helping to free people to be able to see that a lot of the things that were taught to us were really from a more sinister aspect from, um, let's say, higher up people who have a lot of influence in the world. We're actually trying to keep a lot of the collective repressed and almost like congested. And even if you think of it from the perspective, this is just coming through from spirit right now, even if you think of it like right now we're really distracted. Well, that's very much for a reason. There's a different agenda that is going on to prevent us from being able to step into our true power and remember who we are and really come into our knowing of our divinity and our worth and our power.
I would guess that that hints at the battle between darkness and light.
Yes, that is essentially what it comes down to in a big way. So we've been oppressed for over 6,000 years. Um, in many ways, it was darkness trying to win, and the light is returning. I like to think of the light as like divine feminine, and this is not about um, different genders. Everybody has divine feminine and divine masculine within them, but the divine feminine is all about intuition and this inner knowing, but it needs to be married with our divine masculine inside of ourselves. So then the divine masculine part of us can then take those ideas and move forward with them and take the action. So it's marrying both to really be able to thrive and step into our power.
And this doesn't make the divine masculine bad in any way. It's just
No,
it's a
no, no.
focus on the feminine, right?
It's a marrying of both, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with divine masculine. It is so needed. It is actually the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine that has been projected or taught to humanity. And that's what we're getting out of. We're coming back into our divinity, coming back into our true connection and our true alignment with ourselves.
What do you think is the number one roadblock that you see people have when they are trying to reach levels of success and just not able to reach them?
To be very honest, and it's so interesting that you say that because I was meditating yesterday. Kind of, I love that this conversation is organic. And I was trying to tap into, what would serve the greater good, what needs to come through. And I heard very clearly, what do you see a lot of successful people doing? You see the sports people get down and praying, before a game. You see people attribute their success to a higher power. So truly, it is the connection to the higher power of your own understanding or the lack of connection to a higher power is what really keeps people from succeeding. And then the connection to something greater than yourself, to a more expansive nature is what really helps people to succeed, as well as like optimism and creativity, all of those things. And also the grit to follow through.
We've got to do the work no matter what else happens. We've got to actually have that action happen.
100%. And, this is a big reason why I do the work that I do is because I am a living example, which the success codes go into. I actually have another couple books that are being channeled through where I'm going to be sharing a little more of that as well. But my background is essentially like I went through the ringer and I went through all the things. And, people have a choice whether they are going to let those circumstances or the things that they've been through, we all experience trauma. We have the choice to use those instances to learn from them and heal and rise up to help others, or we can use them to keep us down and live a life of not good, of victimhood.
And get stuck in this kind of little hamster wheel of just life happening to us as opposed to us being the divine creators that we are.
I love that. That's a gorgeous way to put it. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with world-renowned spiritual channel Lisa Stamper in regards to her new best-selling, award-winning book, The Success Codes, the real, true way to the success, the love, the money, and everything else you want. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest, world-renowned spiritual medium Lisa Stamper, who's here sharing with us her best-selling, award-winning book, The Success Codes, the real, true way to the success, the love, the money, and everything else you want. Well, let's talk about the work you do because I am so intrigued. I know you're just this highly gifted channel and intuitive. So when you work with people, what does that look like?
Thank you so much. So I work with people there's a lot of different ways. I like to have a lot of different accessibility points for people because I do think that when I started in personal development, I did not have the resources to be able to invest, in a big way. So that's why I created the book. But then I also have, like I said, I have a couple more books in the works, but I'm constantly channeling to help the collective. So I love doing in-person events. People hire me to come, and even for corporate stuff, it's super fun and interesting and team building to just see that there's more to what comes through. Because honestly, the stuff that comes through, there's no way that I could know. So I also love leading healing spiritual retreats at sacred sites that I am guided to by my team in spirit all over the world. So this October, we're headed to Greece for our Atlantis retreat, which I'm super excited for. March, we're going to be going to Hawaii and working on Lemuria and really connecting to that sacred, holy Mu connection. And then we've got Egypt and Peru and a few others down the pipeline, not knowing the wins yet, but I just live my life totally soul led. So I know that I'll be guided to the win of those. I have all of my channeled courses to help people with anything from, if they're feeling lost and looking for some relief, to how to really go from surviving to thriving, to healing your relationships with money and how to attract abundance, to helping people tap into their innate gifts, into mediumship, to live a life you love, essentially connected, protected, and directed by the universe. Then I also have my inner circle. I have one-on-ones that I work with. I've been kind of moving away from that a little bit more because I am feeling really called to help groups more so we can have more of an impact in the world. But yeah, there's all different ways to work with me. And I absolutely love every single thing that I do. I always tune in before setting the intention, whether it's for a personal reading, or I even help with like people with their business guidance. It's wild, the stuff that comes through when you open yourself up to limitless possibilities and guidance from a higher source that wants nothing but the best from us and wants us to succeed. So I always set the intention that whatever comes through, whether it's through courses or the retreats or one-on-one or readings, that it is for people's highest good and greatest interest and most amount of healing. And I ask that it is revealed to us exactly what needs to heal and how that can happen. What is the path of least resistance to that? Just so people can really get on a path of living a soul-led life as well, really returning to their innate consciousness and their innate connection and their innate worth and self-esteem.
Well, little birdie told me that when people have either private sessions with you or they're doing these group sessions, that they have had some very profound spiritual awakenings. Is there one that you can share with us?
Oh my goodness, profound spiritual awakenings. There's so many. It's hard to narrow down one. The one that I would actually go to the most would be the experience, because I often will channel different activations or things that come through for people in order to access higher parts of themselves. So this one time I was channeling, I was guided to bring this beautiful golden light, Christ consciousness, down and in and through their bodies. And they were literally able to feel the liquid, warm, golden light. And they felt such divine connection to everyone and everything that it lasted for absolutely weeks and months. And you literally saw a light come back on in this person. It was like this pivotal, transformative light bulb moment that was just like, oh, this is what it is. And all the illusion gets parted and all of that gets swept away. That was the most profound, I would say, out of all of the experiences. She literally describes it that she felt oneness with every single person and every actually sentient being, even like rocks and animals and everything. She could literally feel essentially the shared light that is within every single person and every single thing.
Well, how empowering is that to be in this place where you can have that type of awakening? You hear people spend lifetimes trying to get to that place. So I'm so glad that you shared that with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and I understand that you want to do a little channeling for us now. Is that something that we could do?
I would love that. I would love to channel for you right here, right now, if you're open to it.
I am very open to it.
I will say I never look at anybody between. So it was really interesting. The events that Spirit led me to speak at, like Harvard and like all those other institutions that I went to, they had me do my talk at first, my keynote, and then they had me channel for people after, for the audience participants who wanted to. And it was so absolutely just fun and incredible and just really lit this, light and fire in the room. So it was truly a lot of fun. So I just want to start by saying I don't look at anybody beforehand. I don't tune in beforehand. So I just can really come from a place of authenticity and transparency and alignment.
Well, with as many people as you help, I can understand who has time to look at people ahead of time, so
I love that. Oh my gosh. So if I can tune into you and the way that it works, so I am clairvoyant, which means I'm clear seeing, like I get like movies in my head. I can get images that kind of come to me. I'm clairsentient, so I'm super clear feeling. I'm a physical empath, so I can actually feel things in people's bodies, whether it is, confirmation coming through from a passed over loved one to give, the city confirmation that it is that person. Often they'll give me symptoms or whatever ways that they've passed on, just so then you're able to identify it. But often it's like a jigsaw puzzle. But it's so fun to put together. So if something resonates, that's fabulous. But I really ask that a lot of times when I do these, people get really excited and they kind of spill, and I'm like, "Don't tell me anything, let it come through. I just need a yes or no." Just because I
Okay.
want people to be able to see that it's authentic and all the things. So, um, yeah, you let me know if something doesn't make sense to you. 9.5 times out of 10, people will walk away and I'll get an email later and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I know what that means," or "I had to go and ask my mom," and then it makes sense that way. So,
Oh,
um,
yes.
yes. Okay, perfect. So, tuning in to your energy, Marianne, thank you for allowing me to connect, to be able to share in this gift with you. So, the first thing that I'm coming through, and interestingly, this came through even before we started talking. I'm always kind of getting information um, as I chat with people, but I had a black cat come in. Do you have a black cat? Have you ever had a black cat? Do you like
Yes.
black? Okay, thank you. Perfect. And is that black cat no longer here, or is it still here on
No
this?
longer here.
Okay, thank you. That's exactly perfect because they were showing me like this fun Halloween decoration of a black cat. So I don't know if you like to also play into the Halloween vibe or resonate with that kind of stuff, but that's how it came through. So I feel like it was like playful as well, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I love that. So then the next thing that they took me to was F10. And I asked specifically, what does that mean? And they said, Marianne's life is like a tornado. She lives as a whirlwind, go, 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 do, 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 but incredibly also on point. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
I love that. That's so fabulous. I live life in the fast lane as well. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, saying that, I'm also super connected and grounded, but it just feels like this wonderful, like it's almost like you stir something inside of people, which that would make sense as to why you also do what you do, because you're really able to help people birth things into the world. It's almost like that you help to bring it out of them. Does that make sense?
It does.
Oh, I love that so much. They showed me a snowy owl, so I don't know if owls are resonant with you or if you like snowy owls or if you don't like snow, but that is something that's coming through.
I like those as well.
Oh, perfect. So much. Then they actually show me a Passover loved one, if we can go there for a second. And it
Sure.
actually feels like a grandfather. And when I tune into the energy of him, like, I don't know if you guys had like a super close relationship or if it became distant after there was some memory loss or something, but it almost feels like he's dizzy to me. Like I kept on feeling like a little bit dizzy and I kept on feeling like it was a little bit hard to breathe. Do you know if that is resonant from what he experienced from passing, or if it was an illness that he got?
It was an illness.
Okay, but that makes sense. Okay, perfect. So it's just like this beautiful gorgeous relationship. I also have this dog who has passed over, but it feels like from when you were younger. And then the last thing that they showed me was actually this kangaroo leaping in bounds. And that's actually made me think of Australia, because that's one of the places where I will do a spiritual retreat as well. I feel like you're catapulting to this different almost direction. Like, do you love traveling? Is that part of something that you do? Would you ever do like a road show? Like, I don't know. Is that weird, or is that resonant?
Oh, that's something I would love to do.
That's so fun. I know this girl who actually, so she has a TV show in LA, and she goes to different places. She was just in India, and like people, pay her way to come there and then feature the place. So that's super fun. So that feels like that is resonant. That feels like that is something. And I also don't know if you like a boat or if you had a boat, but they showed me
I love boats.
Oh, they showed me a captain, almost like a captain's hat. So fun. Well, that's what came through in that little amount of time there. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to share that.
Oh my gosh, how gifted are you? I mean, that was so amazing. You were so on target with everything. And I just can't say thank you enough. That was so nice to have those memories and that connection. So,
Oh, thank you. They also
yes.
want you to know specifically that they're super proud of you. Like, that is a very specific thing coming from that individual.
Oh my gosh, I just love that. Got to be insanely busy because you're so just amazingly gifted. Do you do private appointments with people as well, or just in group settings?
Yeah, so I do group settings, but what I do, I was really finding like I love I just really feel called to that freedom lifestyle. So what I've been doing is actually opening my books for personal private readings by month, or else I was booking ahead for 3 years in advance, and that felt like really, oh, I don't want to do that. It's different when it's events, but I didn't want to have my whole schedule locked down with just personal one-on-ones, although I love doing it. So people can email me. They can head to my website, which is www.lisastamper. So it's literally like stamper.com. And I would love to offer your listeners a special little 20% discount on an intuitive reading with me when they mention your Moments with Marianne show, but they have to mention it in order to get it. And then if they email me, I can follow up with some times that I could make work. And if it is meant to be and is in alignment, then we will make it happen.
Well, what a great gift that is. My goodness, Lisa, you are so gifted. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you for having me, Marianne. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you, Lisa. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you and to not only talk about your best-selling, award-winning book, The Success Codes, the real, true way to the success, the love, the money, and everything else you want, but also about your just amazing giftedness as a world-renowned spiritual channel and psychic medium. I mean, what a gift that was. If you'd like to book your private appointment with Lisa, make sure to visit her website, lisastamper.com. There you can learn about her upcoming events, how to book a private appointment, and of course, her book, The Success Codes. The Success Codes are available to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere books are sold. And remember, support our indie bookstores. If you don't see it on the shelf, just ask for them to order it. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary. A recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.